Just starting, Yashoji, we're just starting, huh?
Okay, all right.
Good evening, namaskar, and once again, here's while hoping that you all are safe and sound and hoping for your safety, let me once again welcome you to your favorite destination, the only show, frankly, which is trying to make sense of your life, folks. Just a short while back, I put out a tweet, and today on Talk to Bhupen, in the august company of my dear friend Yashu Azad and a whole host of other guests who will be joining us in a short while from now, I really want to look at our lives today. I want to look at exactly where have we reached in our trajectory, in our journey as a country. Every few months, all of us get excited. As journalists, I get excited about participating in elections, about reporting in elections, and then we think that these politicians who we will ultimately vote for, these politicians are going to look after us. You know what these politicians have done? This is what these politicians have done. Whether it's at the state level or at the central level, please tell me, anywhere you are today, whether you're in Delhi or you're in Mumbai or you're in parts of Uttar Pradesh, will you really believe this if someone was to tell you that, you know what, we are still not in the stage of community transmission of this virus? अगर कोई आपको ये कहे कि साहब सब कुछ ठीक है, आपको कहे अरे साहब क्या बात है, सूरज डेली उग रहा है, डेली ढल रहा है, चांद भी निकल रहा है, चांदनी रात है, बहुत अच्छी सुबह है, क्यों गाहे बगाहे आप इन सब बच्चों में पड़े हुए हैं? अगर कोई आपको ये कहे तो क्या आप मानेंगे इस बात को? That is what I want to really call out on the program tonight. Why is the government shying away from stating clearly about India being in community spread stage? Instead of focusing on what needs to be done to fight this pandemic, what we have been left with is a set of a politics, a political structure where already plans are being made to fight the next election, which is in Bihar. I demand that all politicians, all ministers across different states should immediately give up all kinds of other political activity. For God's sake, look after those people who are voting for you. If you can't look after those people who are voting for you, what business do you have to be in politics is what I want to know from you. And I will put up some graphics today, as I always do. Look at the COVID death rate per million citizens. And mind you, what's my fundamental question tonight? My fundamental question is, government of the day still does not want you to accept, it does not want to believe that there is something seriously wrong when it comes to this corona pandemic. We are still being told, सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है, ये अच्छा चल रहा है, खाक अच्छा चल रहा है, देखिए क्या अच्छा चल रहा है. COVID death rate per million people in states with 150 plus cases from March 25 to June 08. Just look at this. Just look at this. And look at where states like Tamil Nadu are today, 3.71. Look at where states like Delhi are, Delhi, UP. I mean, it's really scaring me. When I'm looking at these numbers, when I look at these numbers of what is the story of Delhi, what is the story of Haryana, what is the story of Bihar, it really shocks me. It really shocks me when I look at the number of people who are dying because of COVID. Let's look at it now from the point of view of what is the testing rate. What is the number of people who are being tested across different states in India? Look at this. Goa tops. I mean, the smallest states are testing the most, but the whole focus is on Delhi and in Mumbai. But and Yashoji comes from the state of Bihar, I come from the state of UP. I just look at this figure of Bihar, Yashoji, for a moment. Look at the testing which is going on per million citizens. I know the font size is small today, but look at this. 820, I'll read it out for you. 820 citizens being tested per million citizens in comparison to a small state like Goa, where you're looking at roughly 20,000 citizens, or Delhi, where you're looking at over 13,000 citizens. So tell me, Yashoji, how do I look at this? It's visible now. How do I believe these numbers, Yashoji? How do I conclude that there is no community transmission which is taking place on the basis of these numbers?
Well, the first thing I would say is that this kind of a denial by the governments everywhere, it doesn't help the cause of the public. And I agree with you on that point. Definitely there is, the cases are exploding. And in Bihar, as I see, the testing capability as it is very poor. And if it is only 820 out of a million, I think it is absolutely shocking. That means the first important analysis which comes out of it is that we really don't know the actual figures, and the actual figures may be much, much higher. Of course, in terms of healthcare facilities, places like Tamil Nadu or in the southern states, the situation is better. But for Bihar and UP, I think it's going to be explosive, especially after all the migrants have gone back. And this is a time actually to ramp up facilities. But, unfortunately, even in a place like Delhi, and that's my biggest problem today, because that was the focus of your, greed is universal. But this kind of greed, which is being expressed in healthcare by the private hospitals or even otherwise, is absolutely shocking. You must be deluded by calls coming from the Delhiites about admission in the various hospitals. And when they see these figures, which are increasing, now we are 6th in the world, perhaps, that people are asking questions that if I'm asymptomatic, what do I do? Should I get myself tested? If I'm COVID positive, where should I go? And you would have seen the story which came out in the newspaper today of Bhupendra Kaul, one of the heart specialists, how he was making go round and round by these things. So first look at the figures, I can say that it is a terrible thing. And secondly, the most important thing which I would like to say, in a situation like this, when the public representatives were not even known to be outside and propagating the cause for taking measures or going out themselves like the NGOs, to talk about elections in Bihar is truly shocking. I think it's a disgrace.
That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say, Yashubi. I was appalled. I must admit, I was completely appalled, sir. When I'm seeing people around me and politicians around me talking about elections, when the reality is this. Look at the number of confirmed cases. Look at the number of deaths. Look at what the statements which are being made. I mean, Delhi Health Minister is saying that Delhi is going to have well over 5 lakh positive cases by the end of the month. Now, if this is a scenario, Dr. Rai is there with us as well. Dr. Rai,
yeah.
I mean, please tell me, sir. Please tell me, क्या कोई भी समझदार व्यक्ति आज की तारीख में मानेगा कि इस देश में कम्युनिटी स्प्रेड नहीं हो रहा है? कोई मानेगा क्या इस बात को, बताइए?
मामी जी बड़ी अच्छी बात पूछ रहे हैं, मुझे खुद को हंसी भी आ रही है, शर्म भी आ रही है. हमारे डायरेक्टर ऑफ एम्स कहते हैं कि वी आर इन कम्युनिटी स्प्रेड, और हमारे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स वहां बैठ के कहते हैं अभी हम कम्युनिटी नहीं है. नाउ हु आर द पर्सन हु आर रिस्पांसिबल फॉर दिस फॉर कंट्रोल ऑफ द डिजीजेस लाइक दिस, doctors or other persons? There is no harmony between the two departments of whether it is a central government or it is a state government, and only the blame game is going on. Nobody is bothered for the normal citizen of the Delhi. And one thing more I want to ask from your channel, also from your media, कि अगर जब कोई आदमी मरता हुआ आता है तो हम उसको एक ही बात कहते हैं, बेटा चिंता नहीं कर, हम है ना, हम बचाएंगे तेरे को. और यहाँ पे हम कह रहे हैं हमारे पास बेड नहीं है, हमारे पास ये नहीं है, हमारे पास वो नहीं है. What sort of panic we are giving to the society? Are we doing the job which has been assigned to the doctor? And the politicians are sitting on our head, and still we are keeping mum. The worst position is, when in the world, when the graph was at flattened, then only the lockdown was opened. And when in India, particularly in India, when the curve was going high, it was not up to the stationary, it was rising. We are opening, okay, it was needed as far as the economy is concerned. We agree, sir, we don't mind. But lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3, lockdown 4, whatever preventive measures were to be taken, have we taken properly? Okay, that's okay. Now, once we know beds are short, what arrangements we are going to make? We have got all the capacity. We should fight like warriors. We should be not the cowards. But we are giving this impression to the society, and every day, Bhavik, every day I'm getting call. कि हमारा क्या होगा.
मैं उसी पे डॉक्टर है कि हमारा होगा क्या. अगर हम एक ऐसे राजनीतिक इकोसिस्टम का हिस्सा बन गए हैं, and I would look at this figure, for instance, look at state of Maharashtra, look at the testing, and look at the contact tracing. So mind you folks, you won't find this anywhere else. The truth is that the challenge is not just in terms of figuring out who are these asymptomatic carriers versus symptomatic carriers. The challenge for the authorities is also this, that once you figure out who is a COVID positive person, you have to spend some time in trying to do contact tracing. Is it
right? Absolutely right.
And therefore, when I look at this figure, and just like we were looking at COVID death cases, when I draw comparison between contact tracing per patient in Karnataka versus contact tracing per patient in Maharashtra, look at the bizarre statistic. I mean, Yashodi, on what basis? On what basis today any politician or any healthcare professional in this country can say that we are fine as far as this battle against corona pandemic is concerned? Have we simply decided to put everything राम भरोसे? क्या मैं सोचते यार हम बात ही नहीं करेंगे, इसकी बात नहीं करेंगे, सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, हम चीन की बात करेंगे साहब?
No, this is actually wishing away reality. And I agree with Dr. Rai when he says that, we really don't know whether the Babus are in control or whether the doctors are in control. I mean, when I've seen this figure of Maharashtra, which is testing only 2.3 contacts, cases per positive case is absolutely horrendously low, and this is shocking because Mumbai cases are worrying everyone. Maharashtra cases are worrying everyone. In fact, in Karnataka itself, it's the northern districts which are mostly affected, and Bangalore is relatively free. So given a situation like this kind, to talk about politics and about Rajya Sabha nominations and talking about the elections in Bihar is truly shocking. Pandemic is an unusual emergency. There are many kinds of emergency, but this is even graded beyond the emergency. And this is a time when all the elections should be absolutely cancelled, whether by ordinance or by anything. Whatever you have to do, if you want a constitutional change, you are calling the parliament, but this is not a time at all to hold any kind of elections this year, whether it's the Rajya Sabha or Bihar. It shows insensitivity totally to the people's ear. And secondly, I would like to say many other things which the Delhiites are very, very worried about in Delhi. I mean, we can take it up later, but on this point, what I'm saying is that the states which are really badly affected, they themselves are either unable to ramp up their facilities or are able to organize their system, as Dr. Rai said, to give the benefit to the people, because the cases which are coming every day in Delhi of people being denied, whether in government hospitals and being made to run around the private hospitals at paying exorbitant rates, both are really sad cases which are being brought to the Delhiites every day.
Oh, no doubt. I did a video on this Yashoji yesterday. I was aghast. Yeah, Rai Sahab, मैं आप ही के पास आ रहा हूँ, Rai Sahab. देखिए हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर दिल्ली की और मुंबई की, लेकिन मैं अपने दर्शकों को ये भी आज बताना चाहता हूँ कि इस देश में जितनी घपलेबाजी हो रही है डेटा को लेकर, वो शर्मनाक है। और मुझे लगता है कि अब ये समय आ गया है कि हम लोग इस घपलेबाजी को कॉल आउट करना शुरू करें, क्योंकि अगर हम नहीं करेंगे, अगर हम इस पे फंसे रहेंगे, इज राहुल गांधी लीडिंग डाउन, लेटिंग दिस कंट्री डाउन बाय डूइंग सम एंटी इंडिया तमाशा, और चाइना में क्या हो रहा नहीं हो रहा, तो मेरी आप बात मान लीजिए, गांठ बांध लीजिए, हम और आप दोनों लोग मर जाएंगे। ये कोविड के चक्कर में या हम खत्म हो जाएंगे, आप खत्म हो जाएंगे, राजनेता अपनी राजनीतिक रोटियां सेकते रहेंगे। The sooner we realize this, the better it is. Because look at what's happening in Gujarat, for instance. When it comes to the number of people who are dying, what is COVID? What is the rate of testing? If you look at the rate of testing which is taking place in Gujarat, where is Gujarat? I mean, it's nowhere in comparison to the kind of testing which is happening in Delhi. Whereas if you look at it in terms of number of people who are dying, the fatality rate, you look at this, 19,592, 1,219 deaths which have been recorded. And this in a state where all kinds of questions are being raised about whether there is enough testing which is happening or not happening, whether an attempt is being made somehow to suppress data. So in UP, for instance, there is no way to figure out exactly what is the reality, because testing nahi ho rahi hai, ya hame data nahi pata hai. So Rai Sahab, if this is the scenario, if on one hand private hospitals are doing what they're doing and government takes this position, that we will try and we will somehow figure a way out, wriggle out a political solution to this corona pandemic, क्या मैं ये मानूं राय साहब कि हमारे पास कोरोना पैंडेमिक से लड़ने का ना अब कुछ बचा नहीं है, कोई उपाय नहीं बचा? क्या ये सच्चाई है?
बिल्कुल सच्चाई तो भूमि साहब यही है चौबे जी। मैं अभी आपने थोड़ी देर पहले बहुत अच्छी बात चालू की, आपने कहा कि हमारी टेस्टिंग गुजरात के अंदर कितनी हो रही है या दिल्ली में कितनी हो रही है। आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन के बता दूं, दिल्ली के अंदर 11,615 पर मिलियन टेस्ट हो रहा है, और जो तमिलनाडु में 6,900 हो रहा है, राजस्थान में 5,800 पर मिलियन है, कर्नाटका में 5,000 है, महाराष्ट्र में 4,000 है। अगर आपकी टेस्टिंग अभी और महाराष्ट्र में हो जाएगी तो आपका ग्राफ कहां जाएगा, आप सोचिए। उसके बाद आप आइए, गुजरात के अंदर सिर्फ 3,355 लोगों की टेस्टिंग पर मिलियन हो रही है, तब ये डाटा है। वेस्ट बंगाल में सिर्फ 2,396 है, और हरियाणा और उत्तर प्रदेश वगैरह में आइए, उत्तर प्रदेश में 1,412 है, और बिहार 709 पर मिलियन। हमारे मजदूर प्रवासी जो बेचारे भाग के बिहार चले गए, और उनको हमको पता भी नहीं है कि वो संक्रमित हैं, whether they are infected or not, we are not aware, but we are definitely concerned for them. If tomorrow they become positive, or definitely lot of people are positive, but if tomorrow they spread that infection to others in the rural area, what facilities we are having, what the hell we will do, how
Ashok ji,
much
why is the story of Bihar the way it is, sir? Why is Bihar not testing even half of what Delhi is testing?
That's what you are telling, half. Delhi is 11,615, and Bihar is only 709. Only 709, sir.
I'm saying, yes, sir. That's what I'm trying to ask. That's what I'm trying to ask, Yashoji.
Only
Yes, sir, when
7%.
election campaign is taking
Only
place,
7%.
7%. Why? क्यों है ऐसा, क्या क्यों है यशोजी? बताइए ऐसा क्यों है? कैसे संभव हो सकता है?
As I've already said before, बिहार में जो हेल्थ केयर की फैसिलिटी है या नॉर्दर्न स्टेट्स में है, वो साउथ के मुकाबले में बिल्कुल कम है. And Bihar, anyway, you see the maximum number of people, even Dr. Rai will vouch for me, coming to Delhi hospitals for the cases, for specialized cases, are mostly from Bihar. That shows you
Right.
There is an AIMS which has opened up in Patna, and there is an AIMS which has been announced in a place like Devghar. But as far as the facilities go, you get maximum calls from Bihar to be taken outside to Delhi for special treatment. So in terms of healthcare facilities, I think Bihar is getting overawed. Though I had heard that the Bihar government is fully prepared for testing the cases. But as a whole in India, as we are pointing out, as Dr. Rai is also saying, unless we test more, we don't know the exact figures. And Bihar is unfortunate, and I would only say that the healthcare facilities are very poor, and that is one of the primary reasons why the testing is so low.
Just for your information.
So Rai sir,
Please, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. You were saying something, sir. Rai sir, please go ahead.
I was just saying one thing. ICMR has taken one zero survey, and in which they are saying in the cantonment area, where we are putting all our energy there to control the infection, whatever cases are being reported, 200 to 300% cases are more there which are not reported. This is the report by the ICMR, not of Dr. Rai. Now what we should do?
Imagine. So therefore, do I understand this, Rai sir? Do I understand this, that this number which is being spoken about by the Delhi authorities, that by the end of this month, you will be looking at 5 lakh cases, if not more. Do I understand that actually India is already in the grip of a full-blown community transmission of this virus? And it's just that authorities don't want to accept it because it will not look good on their CV. Is that the fundamental reality, sir?
You are absolutely right. What we can think more than that? When the expert says we are in the community transmission, and government says still we are not. Let us see. What do you mean by? I cannot comment on that. But definitely, as a doctor, I'm worried for the health of the country. I'm worried for the health of my Dehlites. Whatever best we can as a doctor we can do, we should keep on doing that for them. And this is the time when we should console them. We should encourage them, not frighten them, not create a panic for them. If panic will be there, what will happen tomorrow? You must be getting 100 calls. I am also getting 100 calls. कि भाई साहब हमारा क्या होगा? भाई साहब मेरा क्या होगा? भाई साहब उसका क्या होगा? आप देख लेना. अरे मैंने कहा चिंता नहीं करो, ईश्वर है, चिंता मत करो, हम बैठे हैं तुम्हारे लिए, हम देखेंगे. That is the only we can do. But still, whatever damage has been done, let's concentrate on the damage control. No criticism, no allegation, counter allegation. We are the doctors. We should fight it, and we should control the things. We should console our population.
But Yashoji, what is the reality? What is the reality, Yashoji? Either, I came across another statistic which tells me that 61% of urban India believes in the healthcare infrastructure which is created by the private sector. Now, the same private sector today is thinking in terms of how to milk this situation to make more money. Now, on one hand, there is private sector which wants to make more money. On the other hand, there is the politician who does not want to accept that India is in the midst of this crisis. So therefore, Yashoji, are we doomed? आगे का क्या रास्ता हो सकता है?
Well, let me say that whether they accept the fact or not, whether the community transmission is there or not, the question is, you see the galloping rate, the way we are increasing in numbers, and even the official rate should be alarming enough, because we should be hitting the 5 lakh mark. And secondly, if the data, as it is suppressed, and he has already talked about the ICMR observation, that it's a worrisome sign. Now, if the government hospitals are marked by apathy, the private hospitals are marked by greed and avarice. Now, this is where a Delhiite is caught. So, there is still hope. I would say that one of the most important things is that, how do you disseminate information to the public? Today, the public can read either newspapers or they consume whatever is coming from channels, unless somebody like you decides to discuss the real important cases. And I would say that one of the most important things which the public should be informed today should be by a spokesman to tell them what you should do if you're an asymptomatic case, what you should do if you're a COVID case, and where you should go and what you should, instead of expounding various theories. For example, one of the most critical questions is that people, when they get, they say, blood plasma hum kahan se layenge? Is there a bank? Kya kahin se mangna padega? People are looking around for ex-factory owners where, somebody has contracted COVID and trying to get it from there. This is not the way you manage healthcare facilities. And I go back to Dr. Rai, what he said again. Who is in control? Is it the Pabus? Is it the doctors? The politician should come out and take responsibility and say, okay, here is what we want. These 5 important points we want the public to know. If they get anything, if they are asymptomatic, if they get a COVID case, where they can talk, which numbers, and these are the 5 steps. This is a time to look ahead.
All right.
Otherwise, we'll be doomed.
Yeah. The point is, time to look ahead to tab hoga when we first accept where we are. If the desire is not to accept where we are, then we're really stuck. Is that not the case? Dr. Yashovardhan Azad, thank you so much for joining us and doing some hard, blunt talk. This is why on this program, I don't call politicians, because today my respect for the political class in India has reduced even more. I've never held most politicians in India in high esteem, but I think the way large sections of the ruling establishment, which is either at the center or in some states, are dealing with this crisis, it's shocking. It's disgusting. It pains me, and it tells me the entire electoral process, frankly, is flawed. I want to see one politician who in any election can come up and say, you know what, vote for me because I handled the COVID crisis well. No, sir. No, ma'am. You did not. You've let the people of this country down. And I'm hoping that people of this country will not suffer the manner in which we are suffering right now. The manner in which we're suffering right now. Keeping fingers crossed. Stay well. Stay safe. I'll see you again tomorrow.